Save the planet. Whenever I've read that bumper sticker, I've had to laugh. Save the planet? What for? And for what? Ourselves? What about God? Can he help us? I don't think so. God gave us what we have to see and how we use it. Shit. Rats in a cage would have done it better. Life's a bitch and then you die. Bumper sticker psychology. Yeah, right. Sometimes you get a second chance.
How
I am
many
no Vin
times?
Diesel. I am no
How
Vin
many
Diesel.
times did you practice Clint Eastwood in the mirror, Ray? Because he was perfect.
Oh, nice, nice.
You should have turned on a Marlboro while you were saying that.
I needed like a bottle of Jack and just.
Hello, hello, and welcome to another episode of Science Fiction Remnant. And I am your host, Rooftop, also known as Robert.
He's got a lot of hair on his head for that, but good. This is got the chaos.
And of course, this is not Vin Diesel. It's mad scientist Ray down in South Florida, otherwise known as Australia.
Is it hot in there?
Actually, it's warming up. Yeah, it's 21 degrees in here at the moment, so things are getting warm. I'm going to lose this hoodie.
They say that the more south you are, the hotter you are, right? So
to a point. Once you go past the equator, it reverses.
Oh, okay, so it could be cold. Okay.
No, we're in springtime at the moment, so I'm loving the pollen so much.
Oh,
so much pollen.
Enjoy.
Yeah. When the eucalyptus trees flower, it's just like almost like snow, white everywhere.
Oh wow, nice. Okay, so
what have you guys been watching?
Oh yeah. So I have been watching, obviously, Kaiju number 8, because why not?
Yeah.
It is a freaking amazing show. The only thing that I have not done is read the light novel on this one, but I'm almost done with the entire manga. I'm kind of waiting for the last books to be published.
That manga is completed. It's finished.
It's finished. I think the book have not printed yet, and you know me, I have to have the book. I refuse to go online and read it. But I have not read the light novel, so that might be something that I might do next. But I'm really, really enjoying Kaiju number 8. I also wanted to let everybody know that I finished. I am the evil lord of an intergalactic empire on Audible.
Well, you finished what's available, put it that way.
Yeah, and I am so sad. And I guess I shouldn't be sad because I know another book is coming, right? It's just the wait. The wait is the part that it bugs me. Plus, there's only one season on anime, so I'm also waiting for that second season if it ever comes out. But because I have a big, huge hole in my heart after I finished the available books for Evil Lord, that I went back to Reborn as a space mercenary. I'm actually on the light novel book number 8, and I'm just having so much fun. It's I don't know if you agree with me, Ray, but after you go past those books, like, I want to say, what book? It just gets better. It's one of those books that I can't take. Typically, I take a book when I go to sleep because it relaxes me and I can go to sleep nicer and better or whatever. That's one of the books that it's actually on my block list, because the last time I did that, I was up until 4.
Oops.
No, I can't. That's one of the books. So that's how much I'm enjoying those books. And that is all I have done for the last week on my sci-fi.
And what about you, Mr. Chaos? What have you been indulging in? You're muted, dude. You're muted.
Of course, I'm muted. Of course, I'm muted. Well, I've been doing very much of No Man's Sky lately.
Nice.
I'm loving it.
Mm.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. And I've been actually very fascinated by a sci-fi game, but it's kind of like more on the gore side. It's called Scorn. Viewer discretion is advised. But very fascinating game. Super sci-fi, super grotesque, and that's all the sci-fi worth mentioning right now.
Nice.
Well,
How
I've
about
been
you, Ray?
busy. I've been busier than you two. So I'm going to save one of them for my next recording, but I blame you, Robert. I blame you. The blame squarely lands in your lap because Robert was going on and on and on about Reborn as a space merge. He's like, I love it so much. You got to check it out. So I did. And in a week and a half, I listened to 12 volumes of
Oh my,
Reborn as a space mercenary. I mainlined that shit.
oh my God, yes.
Mhm.
I was high on it, and it's all I blame it on two people. Well, one person and one character. I blame it on Robert and Elma
Okay,
because
you gotta love Elma.
Elma is my waifu in that story. My God, she's awesome.
You gotta love Elma. Oh my God.
and the guy who's doing the reading, he does he does a different voice for every single character, and he's amazing.
Yeah.
It just makes it so much more interesting, and the voice he does for Elmer is sort of a little bit wheezy, and she just comes across as this sarcastic bitchy little elf who's forever like stomping on Hero's toes and pinching his cheek and pinching his arm, and he's like halfway through saying something and he goes ow 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 ow, ow.
You wonder why Hero is all bruised up.
Yeah, but then he gets her back in bed. I won't go into the details because it'll push us into the R18 plus category, like seriously. But I mean, it's well written. Everything is suggestive. There's no like full on sex scenes, but this guy has a harem. Literally, like it's not all like all those other harems where the guy has all these girls interested in him. No, he's boinking all of them.
And you know what? You have a point because in the manga, it's also the same thing.
Hmm.
It's suggestive. They never show anything, which I see in other mangas they do, you know?
Yeah. But it's all classy. And I actually appreciate that.
Yes.
Yeah, he gets mistreated by Elma. And you know, I'm not generally a masochistic person, but I might give it a shot for Elma. Just because she's so awesome. But yeah, he gets her back in bed, and that just cracked me up. So yeah, if you read the story, you'll know which bit I'm talking about. But yeah, it's a great little story, and the most enjoyable thing about it, I think, is that it's all based off Elite Dangerous, which is a game that's been out for over a decade now, and it's actually a sort of updated version of the original Elite that was on IBM PC and Commodore 64 way back in the 80s, which I played to death. So I understand the way the game works. And I can just see that this is written from the perspective of a guy adding the human side to a game that he's playing. And it's pretty damn obvious. And it is really like, it's really adventurous. Admittedly, he's self-inserting as the main character, and this main character is so OP. Like he's like, yeah, you're from another dimension, and oh my god, you have got stat boosts through the stratosphere. The guy is just so powerful, and just by volume 12, which is the one that the last one that I've read because it hasn't been released on Audible yet, but he is just yeah, pretty much unstoppable. I mean, he's being taught by these other OP characters, and they're like, when you've learned this, you're just going to kick us to the curb. And he's like, really?
If you ever download Elite Dangerous, my character name is Hero with a 1.
Oh, you sucker. That cracks me up. But yeah, this guy has a literal harem on board his ship, and he's doing all of them, including the Fox girl. You haven't met the Fox girl yet. She's amazing.
No, I haven't. See, this is incredible. I was the one who told you, and I am on book 8, and you're on book 12.
Yeah. Oh, I've just smashed past you, man.
Wow.
I'm way more dedicated. Way more dedicated. But it's a great little story. I mean, I have a lot of opportunities while I'm working to listen to audiobooks, and while I'm walking around and doing housework and doing yard. I've been doing a lot of yard work lately, and of course, I've had the novels playing then as well. So yeah, it's been a great little ride, and it's unfortunate I have to wait till November for the next one to come out on Audible. So I just have to be patient, but I'm looking forward to that. And there's actually the first female character that he met was a Lieutenant Commander Serena Holtz, who's a Margrave's daughter, and she's actually joined the military to get away from an arranged marriage. And she takes a liking to Hero, but he's like, "You're a Margrave's daughter? Whoa! I don't want anything to do with you in that line." Or he keeps working for her because she ends up running an anti-piracy flotilla, and he likes fighting pirates as a mercenary, so they end up working together a lot. But she's got a thing for him, and she's basically hunting him down for the purpose of marriage. And he's like, no, out of here. And he's got a ship full of women, which he's having his way with, and she's still after him. So it's like, okay. But yeah, it looks like she's slowly bending him to her will, very slowly. So it's a nice slow burn in that regard. But yeah, it's good fun, and I really enjoyed that one. I've just started Alien Earth through Disney Plus. In Australia, we can watch it through Disney Plus. It's on Star, I think, in the US. I'm not sure if you can get that through Disney Plus in the US, but you can down here. So yeah, I'm starting Alien Earth, and there was actually an article about Sigourney Weaver having watched Alien Earth, and she said she couldn't believe it was television because of the production quality was of the level of movie. So
Nice.
high praise from Sigourney. So check that one out. I will be watching more of that. Of course, Kaiju number 8, because it's Kaiju number 8. Gotta watch it. The animation is just superb in Kaiju number 8, and the characterization is great too. And it's just got a lot to recommend it. Now, Den to Den, if not, why not? Second season is just like going off. The main female character's grandmother's house was destroyed, and they rebuilt it using nanocubes, which is an alien technology they got from an alien, and they just come in these little blocks, and you use your imagination to shape them, and the nanites take the shape of what you're imagining, and they rebuilt the house with these nanocubes. It was cool. I want some. Den to Den has just been going off. The last episode was a space kaiju, to have a bit of a crossover with Kaiju number 8. Kaiju is the Japanese word for monster, by the way. So like Godzilla is a kaiju, to give you some reference. And the space kaiju was a Godzilla knockoff in Den to Den. But it's just amazing. I love Den to Den. It's so zany, and it is sci-fi, so it does count.
Aseyo.
Nice.
And the odd HFY story, when I can squeeze it in around all my Audible listening, because HFY stories are amazing. Check those out on YouTube. That's what I've been up to. Lots of stuff.
Nice. Okay, now we have our very own Captain Chaos. Oh, actually,
I already talked. Oh man, come on, come back to us, Robert. Come back to us, Robert.
I'm telling
Wherever
you.
you are.
I'm telling you, it's like,
You're fading already?
I'm
Yeah,
fading
he
away.
is.
I
He
know.
is.
Have more booze. You'll be right.
I think need a
I think
monster.
I need another beer. Um,
Another beer. We're not trying to lose you sooner.
so should we go to the next segment?
Yeah, I do it.
We are Science Fiction Remnant.
This is the Funny Science Fiction Podcast.
We are the Caribbean Science Fiction Network.
We are Monorats.
We are One Accord Level 2 Podcast.
This is Jesse from Sudden But Inevitable and Open Pike Night.
This is Sci-fi.
Hello, if you're new to the show, this is a segment where we highlight the hashtag This is Sci-Fi. So what you do, you ask, is you go into whichever socials you're in, and you look for the hashtag This is Sci-Fi, and you follow it. And part two to that is if you're a creator or if you're a fan of anything sci-fi, all you gotta do is you're already posting about the stuff that you like. You're already posting about the stuff that you created. So all you gotta do is just add the hashtag This is Sci-Fi at the end. And what that does, it actually and it introduces your passion. It introduces that thing that you created into kind of like a new um area where we can all share our sci-fi love. And just to give you an idea what I've seen happen, there has been some. I've seen it both ways, right? I've seen the creator of that one thing that maybe it was a brand new sci-fi that was created, maybe it was a book, and I also seen where someone that is passionate about this obscure sci-fi IP, and they're very passionate, and what they did is they added the hashtag This is Sci-Fi to their post. And what happens is when you feel the passion through the writing of those people, obviously if you're the creator, you're going to have passion for your product. This is your baby, this is your creation. And if you are a fan, you have that one thing that you can't stop talking about it. You have passion, and there's something to be said about being exposed to that kind of passion. At the very least, it creates curiosity. So then what you gain, you ask? Two things. You either get someone that has already been exposed to that IP, or you have someone that has never, ever knew about that IP. And in either case, you get a new friend. You get someone that you can talk about that thing, and you can get someone that might be curious enough to ask you questions about that thing. And anyway, I think it's a win-win, if you ask me. So there's different ways aside from that you can get involved. Obviously, make sure you follow and post to the hashtag This is Sci-Fi. You can also use the same passion to call our hotline and tell us about your IP. If you're a creator of that IP, we want to know about it, and we want to know, what was the thing that you like the most about that idea that gave birth to that IP that you created. And if you're a fan, we want to know that one thing that you love so much, and we want to know why. And what you could do is you can call the hotline is 1-305-563-6334 and leave a voicemail there with your permission. We will play that message on future episodes, and we'll discuss and we'll have a conversation around it. Another way that you can get involved is you can join our Discord, and tell us about that thing you created. Tell us about the thing you love, and we'll be there. And if you want, or you can even come on the show and give us your same, the same passion. Right on. We can make an episode if, of course, we haven't recorded that IP that you're mentioning. So I don't know about if you guys wanted to add anything to the segment, but before you do, I wanted to include that I did post something. It was this morning, as a time of recording, under the hashtag "This is Sci-Fi," and is I know that Gio might not be too thrilled about this one, but maybe Ray would be. The title is Star Trek finally delivers the iconic sci-fi crossover that combines 120 years of lore. And do you guys know which other IP I'm talking about that will be that they're trying to kind of link together to Star Trek?
No,
Doctor Who?
no. I saw the headline, but I didn't get the detail.
Doctor Who, Twilight Zone.
Exactly.
Bro, you give me a lot of bad reputation because I mean, it's not like I get sad for Star Trek. I'm happy for people that have something they love.
And it's interesting because I mean, you read the article. There has been some.
You're taking a love it or hate it approach. I'm not that kind of person.
So you have different things like one looking at the article I was reading. It was kind of interesting. They like let me see. Peter Capaldi, the 12th Doctor, it began an episode by reciting part of the Star Trek classic opening monologue. That's
Space,
like
the final frontier.
exactly. And then let me see. And let's there was an episode, I'm trying to remember which episode it was, where Riker was asking for a sonic screwdriver.
I think they're wrong, actually. Space isn't the final frontier. Dimensions is the final frontier.
Yeah. And as you can ask Q would tell you.
Yeah.
So yeah, I found that article really interesting, and I posted it under the hashtag This is Sci-Fi. So let me know if you are on our socials. Just go ahead and comment below on that post, and make sure you're like and retweet or retweet. I don't even know how to call that. Re-X?
Re-X.
But
Retweet.
Repost. There you go. Because it covers other social.
Repost. I mean post.
Retweet.
So yeah, I just wanted to mention that because I had it was a lot of fun for me, especially since I love both of those ideas. It's kind of interesting to see them combined.
Nice.
Well, we do know the Star Trek does a lot of wibbly wobbly timey wimey stuff. So.
Oh yeah, and so does Doctor Who. So
Doctor Who invented it.
So. Awesome. So if you guys don't have anything to add,
I do.
Oh,
I do. I've been hanging on to this for weeks. So you must know if you've listened to our episodes on Back to the Future, you must know that we were very disappointed when 2015 came around and there was no hoverboards and flying cars.
Yeah.
We were really bummed out about that. Fast forward 10 years, 2025, 26 is the time of flying cars.
Nice.
There's big movements in both China and the US developing flying cars. There's two companies in China doing autonomous air taxis, and there's a good reason for that because they don't trust the average Joe to fly around because it's dangerous, as Robert would know because he has a pilot's license. So Ehung and Xpeng are two companies producing electric VTOLs, which are vertical takeoff and landing vehicles, which are fully electric. And they're demonstrating and doing small test operations of autonomous flying taxis in various parts of China.
Wow.
So that's happening now. And I don't have the actual article with me right now, but apparently Aleph Aeronautics are doing early test releases of flying cars in Silicon Valley. Reasonable place to do it. But yeah, so flying cars coming your way soon. It is time.
Nice.
Only 10 years late.
I know there's a place in Orlando that they're working on that already for the last 5 years.
but it looks like 2025, 26 will be when it really takes off.
Nice.
Sorry, dad jokes.
Awesome. That is really good news.
Now we just need hoverboards. Got to sort that out.
Yeah. And self-laced,
Here it is, in case you guys haven't seen it. Okay, it says here, Orlando is taking steps to become a vertiport hub of advanced air mobility (AAM) for flying cars, with the Greater Orlando Aviation Authority seeking partners to develop and operate future vertiports for the eVTOL, electric vertical takeoff and landing aircrafts. Interesting stuff, huh?
by
2028.
Wow. That's coming soon. Only
Yes, sir. Interesting.
So it'll be Jetsons soon.
Yeah. Ding, 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 ding.
He's
I grew
going
up with that, man.
nice. I just want
Jane, his wife. I know the song too well. Used to watch that as a kid.
any news on the tubes? I like those tubes.
Oh, the tubes that they traveled in.
Mm.
I know what he
Oh
means.
my god.
I want to travel one of those tubes. Awesome.
I just feel like dirty laundry. If I went down one of those
It reminds you of the banks.
Awesome. Okay. Should we move on to the next segment?
Yes, sir. We can.
Shout out.
Because you wish you would have caught me off guard, Robert, but that's impossible. For the first shout outs, I wanted to give a special thank you to Zuno and Kevin and Jason for joining us, new followers that we have on X. And I will give it to give also a special shout out to our dear friend James Aloka. Go give him a follow. And if you're looking for the next sci-fi read until my really favorite sci-fi writer comes out with his big one. But anyways, go and check his because he's a good collection of books, sci-fi related. When if you're looking for a new epic special or like a space odyssey opera, go check them out. You'll have a good time. And on IG, I wanted to give a special shout out for booze underscores and underscore foods with Z for the coolest drinks and munch ideas. If you wanna, and that's all for our.
And
shout
can you
out today.
can you tell the audience who she is?
I was gonna leave it as a surprise, but
No, it's not a
It's
surprise
funny.
anymore.
well, yeah. I mean,
No.
it's kind of like it's kind of those things that I let people like come and ask. But yeah, she's a new member of the Sci-Fi
Yeah,
Repo.
I just wanted to mention that you're probably noticing that she is not in this episode. So you are going to start noticing that some episodes are going to be just the three of us, and then some episodes are going to be the four of us. So that's going to be kind of the new format of the show. So if you're wondering, that's the reason why.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So I guess we can go to the next segment.
Yes, sir.
And what is that segment? I can't remember.
You gotta use Vin Diesel's voice.
Alita Army news.
That sounds like Vin Diesel's dad.
I am your daddy.
Come on, you gotta say like with that voice like Vin Diesel. All that matters is family.
Oh, I'm sorry. Too much fun with that voice.
You do. Should be
But I
illegal.
don't.
Should absolutely be illegal. So,
Alita using those stops? Yeah, definitely.
for sure. So recently, Radio Chaos episode 282 was all about Alita Day 2025, so Alita Day is the 9th of the 9th because her number is 99. So, and the 9th and 9th, of course, works backwards and forwards. It doesn't matter which country you're in, it's still the same day. So that's convenient. But at time of recording, that was about a week ago. And of course, when this gets released, it'll be even further in the past. But basically what Alita Day is about is increasing recognition of the character and her IP, just to keep her current and get her out there so that people realize what an awesome movie and an awesome IP it is, and help support the movement for a sequel, because that's what the Alita Army is all about. In fact, if you've watched Alita Battle Angel and would like a sequel, you're basically in the Alita Army, because that's what we're here for. So do consider, in the month of September, obviously we've missed Alita Day now, as I'm reporting of it in the past already. But do, go watch Alita again, and tell your friends about it, show them the awesome movie, and, get more people interested. Because if there's more support and more requests for a sequel, Disney might actually wake up and smell the money. We have money to spend on Alita stuff, just need to make it Disney, so get on. That's basically the gist. So yeah, but we had a fun time there talking about Alita Day, and you can catch that and all our other past live stream episodes are all recorded. They're all on the hashtag Alita Army one word channel on YouTube, and you can go in there and listen to that episode 282 or any of the other ones that are in the back catalogue there. So do check them out if you're interested in Alita Battle Angel and a sequel.
Awesome. Okay. So I guess we can start this. It's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, you can say that again.
So before we start, let's go ahead and get the plot.
Shall I plot you up?
Yes, please.
All right, with extra added diesel.
Not on letter, please. Not on letter.
I don't think I could read the whole plot trying to sound like Vin Diesel. It would just kill me. So
I would
I'll
end up having a terrible cough attack.
I'll just be the second-rate third host of Science Fiction Room. You just have to put up with that, and my Aussie accent.
I have an idea. I have a t-shirt
Really?
here. Let me try this. I want to do.
What's
I put this, and then I want to cover my mic like this.
I don't know. That's you might want to mute.
Is that protection?
Hello, my name is Vin Diesel.
Yeah.
Hey! Before you got special effects, that's how you did.
The Hispanic Vin Diesel.
You notice we have matching shirts.
You are, except you're both backwards.
Yep.
Is that because you're in the northern hemisphere, or my eyeballs just read things backwards? I don't know.
That is exactly why.
We're being seen from another dimension, brother. That's why. Yeah, we're interdimensional podcast, man.
Oh.
You can see us across the mirror.
No, that's because I was
right.
Tenet.
If you're from the evil universe, you have to shave your beard and mow off.
Look, this is written the same way that ambulance read on the front of the ambulance truck.
Uh-huh.
I gotcha.
Now mine is correct and his is backwards, right?
He's flipped himself around.
Yeah, mirror images of each other.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay. Even one's shaved and one's not.
If I start sounding too soft by the end of the episode and Robert too much of an asshole, you know what's happening, Ray.
Oh yeah, that would be scary. That would be really scary. Anyway, the plot. In a dystopian near future, a Russian mobster, Gorsky, hires a mercenary Turop to bring a young woman known only as Aurora from Asia to New York City. Gorsky gives Turop a variety of weapons and a subdermal implant UN passport. Turop, the girl, and her guardian, Sister Rebecca, travel from the Noahite convent in Kyrgyzstan to reach New York via Russia. And there's also a time limit. They've got to be there in a week. Unlike the technologically advanced United States, war and terrorist activity have transformed Russian cities into dangerous, overpopulated slums. The stress of humanity's situation causes Aurora to act out in strange ways and display clairvoyance abilities. Got that little antennae going haywire there.
Tomorrow you're gonna have diarrhea.
No, I don't want your taco. Eat it yourself.
Don't eat those tacos. That's clairvoyance for you, my friend.
And then become clear audio.
Well, it's more of a forecasting with a good deduction and observation skills, really.
That's right. On one such occasion, Aurora, seemingly for no reason, panics and runs from a crowded train station just before it explodes in a terrorist attack.
I mean, admit it, man. She's Greta Thunberg's best friend, and she didn't have her pumpkin spice latte that morning, so that's what she was acting right now.
Right.
How dare you?
Well, she's a bit like a transformer. It's more than meets the eye.
Hey, at the end of the movie, like what her like a weapon, like that was like, oh, interesting. Okay.
I want you to live.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks so much. That really helped. The protagonists must also evade an unknown group of mercenaries claiming to have been sent by Aurora's supposedly dead father. Later, they board a submarine that carries refugees to Canada. To avoid satellite detection, the captain of the submarine orders the crew to dive, and he shoots some of the refugees still trying to get on board. The backstory behind that is they could only be out above the waterline for 2 minutes before spy satellites would pick them up. So they needed to pick up people and get underwater as quickly as possible. Aurora, infuriated by the loss of light, operates the 30-year-old submarine without training. Yep, she just walks up and starts fiddling. Sister Rebecca tells Turop that Aurora could speak 19 different languages by the age of 2. Overachiever much? And always seems to know things she has never learned. 3 months before leaving with Turop, she began acting differently. This occurred after a Neolite doctor administered a pill. The doctor told her to go to New York City and arrange for Turop to escort them. After arriving in Alaska with help from Turop's associate Finn, the protagonists are attacked by weaponized drones. Turop manages to destroy all the drones, but also gets wounded. The perils cause Finn to betray the group, and so Turop shoots him in the head. Because Turop don't take no...
After insulting him and telling him everything he needed to tell him, right?
Oh, that's right, of course. It's the bad habit of...
And then he gets to walk out of there. And then he gets out to walk out of there. He made a fool out of Chuck Norris on that scene.
Once in Harlem, a news broadcast about the bombing of the Kyrgyzstan convent causes the group to realize that there is more going on here than they know. Oh, shit, Sherlock. The Neolites have become a major new salvationist religion, which vast numbers of people cling to as world spirals out of control. However, in private meetings, it is seen that their high priestess desires only power and uses invented miracles to court converts. Gorski, working for the Neolites, has planted a tracking device in Turop's passport and bombed the convent when he knew they were in the United States. The doctor who earlier saw Aurora examines her again in the hotel room. When he leaves, Aurora reveals, without being told, that she's pregnant with twins, despite being a virgin. Yeah, sure. Looking outside the hotel, Turop sees Gorski's men and the Noalite group heavily armed and waiting for them on the street. The high priestess calls Turop and asks him to bring Aurora outside. Just before they take her away, Turop changes his mind and starts a firefight with the two groups to get the two women to safety. Gorski's men fire guided missiles at Turop that track his subdermal passport. Rebecca gets killed defending Aurora, who then in turn shoots Turop and says, "I need you to live." Turop's clinical death causes the guided missile to go off target, missing Turop, and explode near Aurora instead. She inexplicably survives. Dr. Arthur Oh God, how do you pronounce that surname?
Dark
Darkwalender?
Darkwardier? I don't know.
Yeah, Darkwardier sounds good. Yeah, we'll go with that. Dr. Arthur Darkwardier revives Turop using advanced medical techniques, but several of Turop's body parts are replaced with cybernetics to undo the damage of being dead for over 2 hours. Darkwardier explains that when Aurora was a fetus, he implanted a supercomputer in her brain, because that's what you do when you love your daughter. It is also implied that the Neolite group had him create Aurora to become pregnant at a certain time to use her as a virgin birth. After she was born, the Neolites hired Gorski to kill Darkwardier, but Gorski failed. Darkwardier remained dead until he found his daughter in Russia with Turop. Darkwardier uses a machine to scan Turop's memory to find out what Aurora said to him before and shortly after shooting him. In Turop's memory, Aurora tells Turop to go home. Turop and several of Darkwindier's men leave the facility en route to Darkwindier's lab. Gorski calls the High Priestess and demands payment. During a subsequent video call, the High Priestess kills Gorski by nuclear missile. Lovely. The High Priestess confronts and kills Darkwindier, but Turop has already escaped. Turop goes to his old house in the forest, finds Aurora, and takes her to a hospital. There, 6 months later, she dies after giving birth. Aurora was designed to breed, not to live, and so her death after childbirth was pre-programmed. Turop takes care of her 2 children, who are shown to be one that looks like Aurora and the other like Turop. Virgin birth, sure. Roll credits.
This, I don't even remember who was it who recommended this movie. We had it on our list for quite a while, so I kind of lost track of who actually recommended it. I know that I have not seen it until we decided to record this episode, and it's strange to me because this is one of those films that I have on my list and just kind of forgot about it because I typically like watching movies from Vin Diesel. So this is one of those escape my radar. I don't know if this is something that had happened to you guys as well.
Nope. I saw it on VHS? No, DVD probably at that stage. Yeah, but I saw it in maybe 2009.
Yeah.
So I had actually seen it and I'd forgotten about it.
I mean, this is how much I was planning on watching this movie that I actually have it. I purchased the film. I just never watched it.
That's how I.
And Gio, you know this because when you go into the Apple TV,
That's typical of you, Robert. You're like an annoying collector.
No, but I was gonna watch it.
I mean, I'm talking shit here. It's your money. You can do whatever you want with it.
He's like every book collector on the planet. They have this pile of books they're never going to get to the bottom of.
Sometimes that's the case. So I gotta give you credit. Sometimes you just grab it after like ages, and you just go into it.
Yeah. So
and then sometimes he doesn't like something like Game of Thrones, which is majestic, but he reads freaking 4 books before saying no, I didn't like it.
We gotta give it a chance.
Yeah, give it a chance.
They are long books, botheringly.
Maybe Robert realizes that George R.R. Martin's never going to get around to finishing it, and he just doesn't want the pain of getting to the end and never seeing any more. So just give it up now.
God.
So I just have to say that because that ties very well to the first question that we asked in the show, which is how old were you when you watched this thing, and what was your very first impression of the thing?
I should probably go first because I saw it way before you guys.
Yeah.
All right, so I saw it on home video. Well, I guess it was DVD at that stage, back in 2009. That is quite a number of years ago now. We're talking 16 years. So I had actually, it didn't really hit me very well when I first saw it, probably because it's a little bit confusing. There's a lot of stuff going on that isn't really well explained. So actually reading the plot there told me a couple of things that I wasn't clear about. So go Wikipedia, you're educating me. Good job. But yeah, it was one of those movies that felt like it had a lot of promise, but they didn't quite deliver. I'm not saying it's a bad movie. It just kind of missed its mark a little bit because they were doing a lot of different things and they weren't quite hitting the mark with all of them, and therefore it got a little bit muddy at the end. Really trying to understand exactly what was going on at the end was hard. And I guess I sort of watched it, and I had nobody to discuss it with back in those days. So I sort of just left it and moved on. But it's actually good to come back to it again, with the wisdom of hindsight and years and being part of this podcast. And I got to say again, being part of Science Fiction Remnant has been a real joy, in the fact that now I have people to discuss sci-fi with and get their takes on it, and get a greater understanding of what I didn't understand the first time around back in 2009. So really appreciate this opportunity to talk
And you hear
about
here
something.
first say that he's smarter because he talks to us.
That's right, I am. Hey, I'm serious. You were joking. I'm serious. I'm not going to believe everything you guys say, but I still learn stuff.
Oh, come on. Why wouldn't you?
But yeah, going on what happened with the box office on this movie, and to quote what it says on Wikipedia, the budget was 60 to 70 million, in that ballpark, and the box office was 72.1 million. So it barely made its money back. If you add on the extra 30 or 40 million for advertising for this, because advertising is generally another 50% of the budget on the top, it did not make its money back. So it wasn't a wildly successful movie.
You want me to tell you the Rotten Tomato ratings?
Yeah, go on.
Okay. Wow. That's all I'm gonna say is wow.
Popular?
Okay. So, tomato meter. Okay.
Mhm.
It's 7%.
Wow.
And
Gosh.
the
I mean,
popcorn
come on,
meter-
guys. I mean, this is a movie. It's a Hollywood.
The popcorn meter
Don't be high.
is 26%.
Mm.
Now, and I'll let you continue, Ray. I'm sorry. I just had to, since you were mentioning that, I just had to mention this.
No, that's fine. That's fine. It's perfectly suitable. Yeah. So
I just have to say, I would not rate this movie this low. It might not be the best in my list of movies.
Yeah, but it's not so low. I agree.
No.
no, I wouldn't have been that harsh, but it does have its shortcomings in that the end's kind of muddy.
Mhm.
It's kind of hard to work out quite what's going
I mean,
on. And
I
that's
know Vin Diesel's
probably
movies.
impacted it.
Expectations, guys.
Well, yeah, I mean Vin Diesel and Michelle Yeoh, like I'm there.
Oh yes.
That's probably why I watched it in the first place, because I love both those actors. But yeah, it's a bit on the harsh side.
Okay.
But that was my first take.
Oh, okay. I was afraid that I cut you off there.
No.
Awesome. Okay, so Gio, we both are new to these things. I think we've seen it a couple of times by now. So I don't know if do you want to go first, or you want me to go first?
Well, that's the thing that you got wrong, is that I watched this movie back in the 2000s too, because I watched this movie in the art in Spanish.
Oh, you did, yes. So were you the one who recommended this movie?
Probably, yeah.
Okay,
And this movie I watched it in the golden era of Vin Diesel, when he was throwing all his movies after Fast and the Furious, you know? And Vin Diesel is all about being macho and Rambo and the fights, you know? He's super cool dude, you know?
Mhm.
He's perfect for the role. To me, Vin Diesel is like what you got with Stallone when you were younger, you know? Vin Diesel is the Stallone of my times, in a way, at least for some sort of action movie, you know. So I did watch this movie back in the day in Spanish. So, you know, I loved it. And imagine me being a teenager and looking at this movie, which is pretty cool, and then the girl, which looks like straight out of Victoria's Secret.
She she
but very like she has some kind of PTSD because like you don't know when she's just gonna break on a screaming tantrum and ruin the
she
mission.
she she certainly had the plump lips thing going.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
okay.
yeah, man, it was a fun movie because also all the action. I think that I really enjoy the world building of post-apocalyptic future too. You know that it's always interesting to see what we predict what society is gonna look like after the third great catastrophe or what's gonna shape us up. You know,
Mhm.
and that was interesting to watch, and the stuff that they use when it comes to technology, the implants, the like the body augmentations and stuff like that. Uh, I was curious about the power telekinetic thing, but I didn't make much of it, to be honest. Like, and I don't think that they really went hard also like on the intricacies of how that works. If you think about it, the movie really revolved a lot more about the whole plot of having this girl getting safely wherever she was gonna go, you know, and then he changing his heart all the way through, right?
Mhm.
Because who wouldn't with those blue eyes?
It was the transporter in GTA 5.
Yes, with a cock blocking a foster mom.
That's right.
That yeah.
So, should I go next? I'm the newbie.
Yeah. You can go next, Robert.
You're the noob.
I'm the noob of this group.
Maybe.
New poob.
I seen this movie twice. I would have to say that I kind of echo what Ray mentioned. Um, I did enjoy this film. I enjoy the world building, as Captain Chaos mentioned. However, I think it has a lot of potential that was not taken advantage of on the world building as well as on the story. I do enjoy the film because obviously we have, um, Vin Diesel and Michelle Yeoh in there, my two of my favorites. Um, I love the action scenes, obviously. Um, but I felt kind of like what you mentioned, Ray. I think they left a lot of things unexplained or unsaid,
Yeah.
which typically works well when it's done well because that's actually the whole idea of a book where you force the audience to make the images in each other's brains and filling the gaps, and that makes it a lot more engaging, and is also food for conversation because you are going to look for little nuggets that were on the movie to try to make your thoughts clear on whatever it is you think happened since it wasn't said or wasn't shown. Um, for some reason, and let me know if you guys agree with this. For some reason, I feel that if they did that less, I think they overdid it. Is what
Yes,
I'm
they overdid it. You're quite right. There was too many unknowns.
So, and the reason why I'm saying this is because that's the first thing that I noticed the first time that I watched this film. And again, please don't get me wrong. I will never rate this as low as what Rotten Tomato has mentioned it. I think the movie is enjoyable. I might watch it more times. As a matter of fact, it was interesting. We were watching this and we were commenting on our Discord. It's another reason for you guys to join our Discord, so you can join those conversations. And I did notice a couple of things that I did not notice the first time. So the movie has its potential, right? The movie is good. It's just I wish that they would not have overdone that whole thing that works well where you omit things on the story because that makes it for great engagement. But I think when you have so many things and so many gaps, it works against it instead with it. So because now you're just guessing, right? Like let me put an example. When towards the end of the movie, when Aurora shot um, uh, rooftop Turop, and the missile explodes. So the way the visual is shown is as if she has some sort of protective shield, kind of like in Star Trek, right? Where you see the fire all around her, but not reaching her, right? Now, we don't know how that happened. Is she human? Is she a robot? They mentioned that she was a baby and they implanted a supercomputer on it, but that's not good. That doesn't explain why the telekinesis to avoid the fire or whatever the shield that was. So I mean, that's just one of the things that I wonder about this film. I don't know if you guys have.
Will you leave open to conjecture quantum technology of some kind? Which back in the day, it's like we just discovered the word quantum. And we're playing around with the dictionary to see if they wanted to accept the word quantum in the dictionary back in early 2000s.
Yeah, but you see, I don't know if you guys see my point. Is the fact that we don't have enough
Yeah.
in the story to explain how that happened, because the fact that you're a baby with a supercomputer implanted doesn't explain why you would have superpowers.
Yeah, but we have a name for that thing, Robert, because we covered a lot of movies that it's called for the sake of the plot.
You know, that's the thing is, and again, I might be wrong here because I'm assuming a lot. I have a feeling that there is a reason in the story. It's just that they chose not to say it. It chose to omit it, and they chose to omit a lot of the story. So I feel that if they would have done this story completely, it would have been a complete different beast altogether. I mean, I might be
and
wrong, but you know,
and honest to God, and correct me if I'm wrong, the two of you, but I think that this movie was made with the intention of a second part that never came.
you know what? I see that.
I mean, I'm talking shit here. Don't get my word for it. Okay, this
No, no,
is
but
just
I see it. I see
three
it.
dudes on a couch talking crap. But I think that Vin Diesel's career was going great because all the sequels with the Fast and the Furious and the Riddicks, and he thought he could have fund this, and it didn't go as well as he thought. Like Ray said at the beginning, he just barely made any money back. And it looked like a good production. I mean, that the CGI was not wow, but you know that those were like the starting days where CGI was not really the norm yet. That was very recent. Post Lord of the Rings, Migo just start getting decent. You know.
Yeah.
I'll just add something to back you up there, Robert. In the Wikipedia article, in the opening statement, it says film was released in France on August 29, 2008 by Studio Canal. It received negative reviews from critics and failed to meet commercial expectations, grossing 72 mil against its 60 to 70 mil budget. Kassovitz, who was one of the screenwriters, disowned the finished film, claiming that 20th Century Fox had interfered throughout production and that the film did not represent his intended vision.
Oh,
There
that
you go.
explains it.
Yeah.
That explains it so much.
Studio exec interference,
Wow.
which has destroyed many a good movie.
There you go. You
Now-
see, you shouldn't complain about Alita, Ray. Could it be worse?
Jim Cameron would not put up with that
You
shit.
imagine, yeah, exactly. You have the hope with a petition. We have a movement going on. You imagine if you wanted a second part, but you know it's never gonna come like this one, because this movie was definitely made for a part two. They left way too much open. When I watch it, I was so on for the part two,
Mhm.
and it finishes like part two is coming.
Well, the novel that this was based on is called Babylon Babies, and it was written in 1999.
I'm gonna have to pick up that book because there's a lot of unanswered questions, and I want answers to it.
There's actually more unanswered questions in this than there was in Blade Runner. So,
Oh yeah, I mean, at least I have to give it to Blade Runner, right? We talked about this before. It's the fact that they went back and retroactively corrected as much as they could, because I remember the film that was released on theaters is not the same film that you now find on streaming services, or if you decide to buy the, either on DVD or not, because they went in and then fixed it because of the same thing. I don't know if it was the same interference, right? I can't remember the details on that one, but I know that they missed a lot from the story that
Yeah.
people were like, what is this? Like, people were not understanding what the heck the movie was about because it was very cryptic.
Yeah, I was the same. That's why I just sort of forgot about it, because it didn't make sense.
Mhm. And then you watch it now, and it kind of makes sense because they re-edited the film to include all those missing parts because people did not understand the film at all. And now the Blade Runner has become a cult classic because of that. I mean, it's a complete story.
Yeah.
And I think they should do the same for this film.
Let me just give you a little bit more context about the original story. So Babylon Babies, this is from Wikipedia again. Babylon Babies is the third novel by French-born Canadian writer Maurice G. Dantic, published in 1999. It follows La Sirène Rouge in 1993 and Les Rancis du Mal in 1995. It says the plot of Babylon Babies is set in 2014. You should have pushed it further out. The main character, Hugo Cornelius Turop, hero of the Red Siren, is a mercenary whose mission is to escort a young woman with schizophrenia, Marie Zorn, from Siberia to Quebec on behalf of a sect. It appears that the young woman is the surrogate mother of twins representing the next stage of human evolution. So there you go. It's got a bit more meat in the backstory than Babylon A.D. ended up having as the movie version.
Wow. So I was kind of right, not even knowing the full story.
That's why I wanted to pass that along at this point.
It just felt that way, and it has so much potential because the second time, and I love when films do this, the second times that I watched this film, and I don't know if this is the same thing that happens to you guys too, but I noticed things that I did not notice the first time I watched. And I love when a film does this. Like one of the things that I was talking about on our Discord, and this is, for again, I keep on saying this. This is one reason why you guys should join our Discord, so you can join in this type of conversations. But one of the things is like when Turop first landed in the convent. Interesting way of traveling, by the way. You were attached via a magnet. The car is attached via a magnet to a military helicopter. And
that was a Hind. The helicopter was a Hind, Hind.
Yeah, so he landed there, and I can see. I have to give props to the actors, especially her. Let me see, what was her? I don't think she's done. Has she done many movies? I couldn't find many things. She's Melanie Thierry. I have to give her props because as she's walking into the car, and this is right after the sister told Turop that he should avoid her at all. Like she looks at him, and for some reason, the second time that I watched this film, it came to my mind now that I know the whole, what's going to happen on the film because I already watched it once. I look at her and I can see something I did not see the first time, and it's in her eyes. Her eyes are telling because I feel like she knows that they're all going to die. That she knows the end of the film, that he's going to be resurrected. I mean, I know all this. I get the feeling from her, the way that she looks at him. And if you notice too, she's already been warned by the sister, right? So why would you waste time talking to someone if you don't already know that in the future they're going to be basically part of your life? And she started asking the names, and what he's saying, like, it kind of hit home what he said, like, I am not your friend, I am not your boyfriend, I am not. And she just stayed quiet because I got the feeling.
No, my brother. She just her boyfriend, and then she was like, "Do do do do, baby."
But you see what I'm talking about is that she stayed quiet because she knew how close he was going to be to her, and that's the impression that I got when I watched the film for the first time. Now, when you guys watched it, did you notice that? I mean, am I making things up? It just came to me as I'm watching it. I'm like, whoa.
No,
She
I
she
didn't
was
at the
10
beginning.
steps ahead. She was 10 steps ahead.
She just didn't know how to walk there, so she screamed all the way there.
I know that feeling well when I'm writing. I'm 10 steps ahead, but I don't know how to frigging get there.
What drove it home was when they're driving away and she's looking back at the convent. Like, she knows that's the last time she's going to see these people because they're going to be dead.
Yep,
So
it's over.
you're screen sharing. And by the way, if you are not following us on YouTube, please subscribe. Just ring the bell so you know when a new episode comes out. And that way you'll be able to see what we're screen sharing right now. But for our audience listening to the podcast, Ray is about to tell us something.
Oh, I was just going to say you haven't seen her in much, but she does a lot of stuff in France.
Oh, that's probably
She's
why.
French, so it'll be a lot of stuff that's in French. But she's in movies that end up going to Cannes and things like that, or Cannes, or however you pronounce it.
I'm gonna have to pick up some of those because I really want to see. I think she's very good at what she does, but then again, I only have this film to compare her to, and I like to
Yeah.
pick up some others so I can see the range of her talent.
That the zero theorem from 2014 looks sci-fi, so maybe we should pick that one up.
Cool, nice.
But yes, she's been in lots of stuff, but a lot of it's TV and a lot of it's French, so you wouldn't have seen it.
It's that's one thing that I had to appreciate about entertainment in today's era is that and I don't know if you probably can relate more to me, Ray, than Gio, but Gio, I think you have experienced this as well, not as to the extent where I remember when I was younger, very very young, the films were translated mostly to English, and they were well. Let me refrain. Most of them were English, not translated to English. But if I wanted to see a film that, like for example, I used to enjoy like Shaolin movies back when I was young. They were subtitles, and most of the stuff, if I wanted to watch something outside the English speaking world, it had to be with subtitles. But today, especially Netflix does a lot. This a lot.
Yeah, you told me that you used to watch Orosuku Doji in subtitles too.
Yeah, subtitles. Um, but you know what? I have to be fair. The reason why I watch it with subtitles is because at that era, voice actors were not voice actors. There were people reading lines. That voice actor thing wasn't a thing back then. So and that's the reason why you hear thoughts where like, oh, if you watch an anime in English, you're not an otaku, you're not an anime lover, and that's where that came from. Is because back then it
I
wasn't.
gotta say, I gotta say something about that because you guys lived through it with the nerds. Now it's cool to be a nerd, and with otaku is the same thing.
Mhm.
Now it's becoming cool to be otaku because everybody likes the furry girls. No guy wants to be a furry, you know, but everybody likes the furry girls. So everybody wants to be otaku, you know. I'm not about gatekeeping, you know. I'm about sharing culture, you
Yeah,
know.
but if you live through that era, you know what I'm talking about because and Ray, I don't know if you experience the same thing. If you watch an anime back in those days and you put it in English, for example, you'll get something like, "Oh, that hurts." Oh,
What was it? What was the other channel before
um,
Funimation?
yeah,
Toonami?
yeah, but let me finish. Let me finish. What you would get something is like, "Oh my God, that hurts. I'm dying. I'm dying. Tell my kids I love them. I'm dying. Bye." Ray,
Yes, it wasn't voice acting; it was reading lines.
it was reading lines. And you can't fault them because they were hired to do that. They were hired to read a line. And then,
What you talking about? Because like I've watched old animes, but they are voice acted.
yeah,
They just
because
were recorded.
because you can always re-record. So I think the first time that I noticed real voice acting,
Oh, the people are only listening. You should have just seen Geo's face. It was
Okay, I'm
just
kind of glad for once that I was not born on the 80s. That's
oh,
good.
you would have hated
Viva la 90s.
and that's
They actually,
where see
so
now
you guys have such horrible things that they just kind of like Mandela effect the shit out of it for 90s.
no,
yep.
the thing is anime is very easy. You can hire voice actors and re-record. That's what happens. But like the first voice acting that I saw that I was like shocked. Someone told me you gotta watch this anime in English, and I was like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not
Nah.
going to do that.
He had PTSD about it. He wasn't doing that.
I
I
was
mean,
not doing it. And then they said you have to. And you know what anime that was? You want to know what that was?
Yeah, which one?
what?
Cowboy Bebop.
Ooh.
I was like, oh my freaking god, this is awesome.
I watch it like maybe after the fifth time I watch it for first time in Japanese.
Mhm.
But it's a great cast in English, you know.
It's great
But
in
I mean,
Japanese,
kids these
bro.
days don't know what it is. Forget about you thinking that you can actually have some kind of lip sync when you sing anime. That didn't exist. It would look completely on sync and just like,
Exactly. Yeah, I
and
remember
then you put whatever language you want on it in whatever accent or dialect.
the same thing happens on my Shaolin films, too. When they those actually I think that was the thing with dub films in general because I
Yeah.
remember seeing some of the Shaolin films that I loved in English, and they were saying something and the mouth was shut, and then when they stopped talking, the mouth was moving.
They make fun
You
of these things in Kung Pao.
Mhm.
and they also simplified things. Like the bad guy would maybe be saying a big line that would really cement him as the bad guy, and it goes. And when it's in English, it's like no.
And
Yeah,
bland.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah. So yeah, Gio, you probably did not experience this in anime, but yeah,
In
that
movies, I did because remember, like being from the R, which is not a first economic nation, you would
Mhm.
say, we get things delayed, and when we get it, it's like horrible translations too, and also like the context. Also, sometimes they make it horrible. I mean, actually, sometimes subtitles in Netflix these days that are still shitty as hell.
yeah.
You know.
I am so glad for voice acting as a profession.
Oh yeah.
And I imagine that back then, it's not like now that you could find three or four dubs for the same thing. Back then, there was only one, and that's it, probably, or maybe two, if you're lucky.
There weren't that many, and people did not prefer it. You know, they you rather just watch it in Japanese with the subtitles.
Exactly. You will try to
But
get the best subtitle place that will give you the best decent work.
what you don't realize is that all subtitles are also subjective.
Yes.
Like people complain about dubs not being accurate to the original source, but a perfect example of this, I watched subtitled the anime Gate, and so the JSDF fought there, which is one of my favorite animes. I've watched it so many times. I watched it on Crunchyroll with subs, and then I found it on what's a High Dive, and I watched it there on subs, and I realized that there'd been a variance in the translation of the subs. It was a scene where Princess Pina Colada was talking to her father, the Emperor, and he said, "How are things going with such and such?" In one translation, and in the other translation, he was talking about her attitude to the thing rather than what was actually happening. And it was a subtle difference in the translation, but it had a huge difference in the meaning of what he was saying. And I'm like, wow, you can even get different like text translations as well. And then I tweaked to it that all translations are subjective. It doesn't matter if it's text or verbal.
I see it on Netflix. You watch something in English and put the I think I see it a lot more because my wife likes for me to put the subtitles in English.
Yeah.
We're watching something. So you hear them talk in English and you read it in English, right? And even at that, just kind of pay close attention if you can. And you'll know
they differ.
The words are different than what they're saying for the most part. It's so odd. But I think I understand it because as a voice actor, you have some liberties just so you can perform and give the emotional range that you need whenever you're doing a product. That and whatever is left in the recording might not necessarily be what someone in a studio sit down listening to the source and translating it to English. So I think that's where they like you said, it's suggestive. But yeah, I think we derail like we do in the show.
I mentioned that Matthau Kassovitz disowned the film. He was one of the two screenwriters. There's actually a section here where it goes into it a bit more at the end of the Wikipedia article. It says that Matthau Kassovitz disowned the final film, liking it to a bad episode of 24. He stated that 20th Century Fox interfered throughout production and that he never had the chance to shoot a scene the way it was scripted or the way that he wanted it to be. And this line's very telling. A French language documentary of the troubled creation of the film called Fucking Kassovitz was released in 2011. Now, depending on how you read that, they could be saying that Kassovitz is a pain in the ass, or they could be saying that he got fucked over. So depends on how you read it.
Wow.
Yeah, I do feel that this movie really had good bones and could have been really engaging, but it ended up being really muddy because it was dicked around with by studio execs, which is a shame. Yeah. It's always a shame when the creatives get screwed over.
Yep. And honestly, I kind of have a fond memory when I think of Vin Diesel productions. It's always a fun time watching Vin Diesel movies. It's nothing complex. It's always good action, and he doesn't neglect putting a bit of good lore behind it. Always, the Riddicks. I think that the Riddicks are like greatest of the greatest. And when you look at them, they're simple.
Well, Riddick 3 was actually totally funded by Vin Diesel. He actually put his house up on mortgage to get the money together to make sure the movie happened because he loved that IP so much. And he loved playing the main character in that so much that he actually funded the entirety of the third movie, which Jim Cameron, you're a very rich man. You could actually fund Alita too. Go for it, dude.
Asshole.
I'm not going to say that.
But honestly, I think that maybe Vin Diesel say no, and I mean, I don't doubt that it was a success because I mean, we all loved the movie. Everybody loved Riddick. Everybody was a fan of Riddick. You didn't have to be a sci-fi fan to like Riddick. You just had to like the buff dude in kick-ass action. So everybody loved Riddick. I'm sure that it was successful. So I'm sure that it was something that is one of those big milestones from Vin Diesel when it comes to big achievements.
But I feel that Babylon A.D. should should get. I don't keep my hopes up basically when because it's all about the money, but it should get the Blade Runner treatment.
Honestly, you know the Babylon A.D is full on cyberpunk, even though they didn't touch much on it.
Yeah, that's another thing that I noticed. This seems to me like the beginning of a world that is going towards cyberpunk utopia.
Yeah,
If that makes any sense, because you see people that has the people that have the money, right? They have implants, right, and they're not very obvious.
yeah.
The New York City landscape was very cyberpunkish, minus the neon.
Advertisements everywhere.
Exactly.
Even the plane was a Coca-Cola plane that
Yeah.
they flew across the country. It's like,
That was very foreshadowing if you think about it of like an era.
So I envision this world being the past of a cyberpunk, city.
yeah, they're on the way there. They're not quite there yet, but they're
That's
definitely
what
on
you
the way.
see before what you see on Blade Runner.
Mhm.
Hmm. And
Yeah,
Blade Runner, you see already an LA that there's nothing outside; it's wasteland. You
yeah,
know.
yeah,
Here you see that there's like there's green, there's something of Earth outside of the city still, right?
yeah. Not necessarily something where people want to go to, but yeah.
Mm.
uh
Yep.
I think I want to move on to the next question, unless you guys have anything else
Let's
to
do it.
add. So if you're new to the show, this is the question that we ask where what is your favorite scene or moment of the film? Um I I don't know who wants to go first though, because the visuals were, in my opinion, they were really good, and I think one of the most fun things of this film. You want
You
anyone?
keep going. You're talking. Keep going.
Okay. So for
That's what I would say.
me, for me, I would have to say, because I like like superpower stuff. I think the moment, one of the moments, let me say, one of the moments that I like about this the film was when the missile exploded around Aurora.
Broski. I don't know.
Is because
And it became Aurora's Aurora.
exactly. It was very confusing at the beginning because I thought, oh, there she goes. You know, she's I have no idea why she shot, Turop and then tell him live, and now now the sister is dead.
Bitches are crazy, man. What do you expect?
The sister is dead, Turop is dead, and now she's gonna die. And then all of a sudden I'm like, hold on a second. And this is obviously in the scene for the memory, like when Turop was on the chair. And I saw the explosion, which by the way, that was great CGI, I think. Um,
Yes.
but it was right.
The sequences like in 3D slowed down and like moving. It was like in those times that was pioneering filmography.
Yeah.
You know that wasn't
I think
very
I
common.
think the Matrix did it 10 years earlier.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're
The
right.
Matrix did it, but the Matrix doesn't own. It's what I say always. They don't own a franchise on that. You know, the Matrix didn't do it with every single thing. You know, they did it a couple of times. And here, they just did it for the missiles. You know, they wanted those missiles to look cool. So, like, it happened, I think, twice in the movie, and it only happened with the missile. It slowed down and zoom. You know, it was so cool, trippy.
That scene, I would have to say, it was probably one of my favorite scenes on the film, only because of the stages that I went through.
You
And
watch it on 3D, Robert?
I don't think, is there a 3D?
I mean, I don't know, but you have a 3D big screen or something.
No, the movie has to be in 3D for me to.
Because I imagine watching that stuff on IMAX or like in 3D movies.
Yeah.
The sequences probably would have been like seizure automatically.
Yeah. I could mention another scene, but the thing is, I want to give you guys a chance because I think this film is filled with scenes like these. In my
Well,
in my opinion.
I can go with my scene because my scene is on the money. For me, my scene was the missile scene, but the whole sequence. I even I sent a video when I was watching it in our private chat, the chat that we have on Discord. I sent a video of it because I was like, nah. Even though I watched it just in the past, I enjoy it when I watch it. And that sequence of you following the missile, and then he rolls into the van and closes like right behind him. So like the missile gets locked inside of the van. I was like, wow, bro. When you think about it, it's like, hey, it could happen. like physically by the rules, he stopped it, right? Right? What
Well,
do you
My
think
scene.
about that?
we don't know, we don't know how she stopped it, but
No. I don't know if you remember. My favorite scene is the part of the missile when Vin
The
Diesel
first
runs
missile.
away.
oh,
No,
okay.
the one that is chasing him on the neck. And he
Mhm.
runs away into the van, and then he literally makes the missile go into the van, and he closes the van on the back. So he kind of locks it in, and he uses the van itself as a shield.
Mhm. Yep.
That to me, that was like super smart because when you think about it, even though it's bullshit, it could save you. Like that door hold the whole blast.
I
It,
think
it
it's
hit. It, it gonna hit you hard, you know. It's gonna hit you hard,
no,
but you don't get burned.
I know what you're saying. It's stretching it, but I know what you're saying.
At least you don't get the burns, the 55-degree burns that you get
Oh,
from that missile.
you're gonna get all the shrapnel.
You're just getting smashed by a door, you know. I don't know how many kilometers per hour with that kinetic force for sure.
Wait, you let me
I'll
know.
take the door over the missile.
Right. That's what I thought.
I mean, a
So
missile
yeah.
exploding when it's touching your neck is going to make a big mess.
Yes.
Yes. And I mean, I definitely, I'll let Ray go first, but I really enjoy, oh my God, the guy that acts for Grosky.
Oh, yes. He's a
That
great
actor, I really love him. He's the main actor in one of my favorite movies that even though it's not sci-fi, I don't care. I'm gonna mention it because I love that movie. And it's the Count of Monte Cristo. It's a series that he
Ge-
did, a short series.
Gerald Depardieu.
Gerard Depardieu.
Mm.
He did the Count of Monte Cristo series, which Alexander Dumas is one of my favorite writers. So, yeah, I love that guy. Grotsky, he did a great role.
Yeah. He's such a great actor.
You go, Ray.
So, I'm actually going to ask you a question. What do you think my favorite scene was? Probably not what you think, but I'll just see what you think I'm going to pick. Let's see how well you know me.
That's a hard question. Let me see.
Yeah, I think I've broken them.
When they were your favorite scene when they were revisiting his memories.
Nope.
Man,
It was. It wasn't when they were visiting, and not when they were reviving him.
Nope.
The Merovingian RoboCop
Nope.
version. No.
Robocop version.
Yeah. He
Straight
still
out
had.
of trouble.
Hey, at least they didn't update his software. He still had the French accent.
Yeah.
Oh my
Okay,
God!
I'll put you out of your misery. My favorite scene, and it's the one that stuck with me from my first viewing, was the maps.
oh yeah.
It's such a simple scene,
Yep.
but it had a real impact because he opens the boot of the car and there's guns and shit in there and maps folded up in the briefcase. He pulls the map out and he flattens it out, and it's a topographical map with some stuff marked on it, and he starts zooming on the paper and the map changes what it's displaying. It's like shit, digital paper.
My wife will love that because I couldn't tell you how many times she would open up a book and there's an image and she tries to do this.
Yeah.
So her, bro. I can see her doing that.
Oh, it's not just her. I think like Gen Alpha would be just all over that.
Yes. Oh yeah. I feel it.
No, but like his wife is my aunt. And she's like a mother to me, and like we know her, like she has these quirks that is just her. It's very her, so that's why we are laughing so hard because that's so typical of her for sure.
That's fair enough. I mean, it's what you're used to. But the fact that he folds it open, it just like looks like a normal map, and he starts zooming it and putting courses in and stuff, and it's a
Oh my god!
full on digital paper map, and I'm like, I want one.
Oh yeah.
Cool.
I mean,
You think that could be achieved with the technology of the ink that is used on the Kindles,
no, I think
magnetic ink?
I'm gonna let me know what you think, Ray. But I've seen a lot of research done on display paper, and basically what that is, Gio, if you're not familiar with it, they're trying to develop the screen that looks like a paper. So like
And it's foldable.
it is foldable, so you can actually have a TV.
Like the HP script that you have.
No, it's a paper. It's like a translucent paper, and you connect it. It has like a little, I guess, plug. Let's call it that on one side, and it's a monitor.
I got this, but this is
No, it's color. What I'm talking about is a color monitor,
okay.
completely
But
color.
it folds up like a piece of paper.
Yeah, I want to see that.
So do that. I see. I'm trying to remember what's the name so you can search for it. But I've seen a lot of research done on that. They're thinking of doing monitors. They're thinking of doing phones with that. But now that you're mentioning that, Ray, I would love to see that as a paper, like a map, or maybe just a paper computer. You imagine having just a foldable paper in your pocket, and you open it up into a table, and you can just touch screen onto it.
Yeah, that would be awesome. That is the thing that stuck with me from this movie. I couldn't remember much of anything else.
Wow.
Except that, because it was like my sci-fi tech button was punched. It was like,
Nice.
so that was my favorite scene from both my recent and previous viewings.
I think since we all went, I think I can give you just one more favorite scene for me.
Yeah, sure.
I believe that would be kind of towards the beginning of the film when Grosky tells Turop that the car will have everything you need. So he goes and waits in this place, and this helicopter comes. I'm like, there's a car attached to it. And it kind of lowers the car. So you're like, I'm thinking, like, is he going in there? I mean,
And he got in the back seat.
I was thinking in my head that they were going to like let it go. So then he
would drive off.
And then drive off. But I noticed that he gets in the back seat. I'm like, flying in it? I'm like, holy crap. Do you imagine if something happens to the magnetic portion of that thing? So yeah, I think that scene was really clever, really cool, and it goes all the way, like the whole experience, right? He tries to smoke a cigarette. There's no way to light it. He opens the cabinet. There's empty bottles of vodka, and so what he does, he just falls asleep, and then you see him waking up when the thing just lands in front of the convent. I think that scene was really cool.
It was. The thing about the Hind, which is the helicopter that was carrying the car, it's like the Russian version of the Chinook, the twin-bladed transport helicopter, except it can mount a lot more guns.
No,
I mean, you can arm a Chinook. You can put like 50 cals on it and have people gunning from the sides of it and the back. But it doesn't have like mounts for forward-facing weapons, but the Hind does. The Hind has little winglets, and you can mount missiles and all sorts of shit under it. So, it's the Russian Chinook, which is a transport helicopter. Chinooks used to carry like field artillery pieces and half tracks and all sorts of things around during sort of the 50s and 60s when it became popular. But the Hind is like the Russian version of that. So that's why it's carting a car around isn't a big deal, because it's used to carting around pieces of armor and artillery pieces and shit like that, which are much heavier. So the car's like nothing to it.
Wow. Yeah, it was. I would have to say that was. I don't think I ever seen that type of helicopter before, but I would have to say it felt very intimidating.
Oh yeah, the hind is a brute with a chopper blade. It's really chunky. I mean, the things have taken missile hits and flak and just kept going because they're that tough.
Yeah.
When I saw it, I went, hind, yeah.
Nice.
So it's pretty cool. So yeah, I guess we're probably pushing on towards the last question if we haven't got any more commentaries.
Yeah. So for all of you out there, this is the part where we ask the last question. This will take a different meaning for our very own Captain Chaos and Mad Scientist here than it does for me. Because the question is, what was your last impression of the film? And this is accounting for your different your journey through watching this film from the very first time and your first impressions all the way through the last time that you watched this film. And I am the noob. I only watched
Yeah.
I only watched it twice.
Okay.
So my last impression. Okay. So I guess I want to say the bad thing first. I wish that this film was a complete film. I felt that it was not complete.
It wasn't.
I was assuming that it was because they are trying to do the what you normally do with books, but as I learned from Ray, the fact, the truth was actually worse. Is meddling from the execs, which is
Yeah.
actually the worst thing that could happen to a film. I am surely going to read the book because I have a lot of questions that I need answered, and I know the film will never have that unless someone listens to the show and realizes that this film needs the Blade Runner treatment, which, based on the ratings and the fact that this movie made no money, I don't know if that would be something feasible to think. And everything is all about how much money it could make. And if this was a flop, this is not going to happen. So I'm going to rely heavily on the books for now. But with that aside, I believe this film it was very enjoyable, right? The scenes, um, the world building had a lot of promise. I still enjoyed it. I enjoyed the action scenes. I enjoy the little tiny technical scenes, which I believe, although this is a sci-fi film, and you see how they're not taking over main stage. And one of the examples that I can say is like when you walk inside the tank for Groski, although you see, there's like heat vision all around him and screens, it didn't feel like that didn't take the main stage in the scene. Like it was all about the encounter between Groski and Turop. Also, another thing that was played very low key is the scene that Ray mentioned about the map and how he folded, and it was just a very natural scene. So I enjoy when films blend the sci-fi aspect of it in a way that it feels like just the norm, and it's just how it happens in the film. So I would have to I would have to say that's one thing that I really enjoy about the film. It was a lot of fun for me. And another thing that I already mentioned that I love about films is the rewatchability. And let me
Mhm.
explain what I mean by that. The second time, and again, I only had 2 times to watch it, so maybe when I watch the third and the fourth, my opinion might change. But the second time that I watched this film, I picked up a bunch of things that I did not pick up the first time, and I really, really enjoy that when it happened. On films, the fact that you can look forward to another rewatch because there's going to be something there that you might not have picked up the first time that you watched. So overall, with all the shortcomings, I really enjoy this film. Yeah, I wish it would be better, but I would say this would be something that I would rewatch. Um, and yes, I think it is rubber. It is halfway rubber safe, or rubber approved, because
Halfway.
out of the two characters, one died and one lived. So, well, technically, two died and one lived. So, yeah, there's a balance in there. So, and that is my last.
Oh no, they all died. Just one came
Technically,
back.
technically, they all died. Yes.
Yes.
It's just one came back. So I count that as a happy ending. So there goes that.
Yeah. Well, I think that this movie, I'm gonna be the next, so that I'll jump after Ray probably for whatever excuse of science and sci-fi I have that is not really even with notes. Uh, but this movie I watch it a lot, maybe like 10 times at least. I really like Vin Diesel, and I was very obsessive about the stuff I like as a kid. So I would rewatch it if I could. Uh, Honestly, I did feel that this movie, like I agree with Robert, it was made for a second part. You can see that by the way it ended. It definitely there was a lot of not things that were not explained, but there was a lot of lore created around it. All the genetically modified about the girl and the cold thing that the woman had going on. There was a lot of things going on in there that we didn't get really much to see. Uh, and at the same time, it's not like they killed the final enemy or anything and got away. No, they got away, but that lady's still looking for them, So the problem is not taken care of. So the movie ends up really like it needs to be addressed at the end. Kind of like Alita, that
Oh,
she
for
ends
sure.
up looking up to the uh,
Sky
what's it
City.
called? The Sky
Xylem.
City, and pointing the sword to what's it called? The doctor, Mr. Goggles,
Mr. Goggles.
Edward Norton.
I love
But
Interesting.
yeah, yeah. What's his name? I need to
Mr.
remember it now. It's gonna bother me.
Nova.
Nova. There you go.
uh, I
There you
think
go,
I like
Nova.
Mr. Goggles. That's my
Yeah,
nickname.
I think Mr.
Mr.
I
Goggles.
think I
Yeah.
think he could be like a children's TV host.
Mr.
Goggles.
Goggles. But yeah, I mean, I got disappointed on it. Honestly, there is so much cyberpunk stuff that it will make such a cool video game. To be honest, and I mean, with so many high graphic video games, they could make a cool video game out of this one. They don't necessarily have to give us a movie. How do you feel, Ray, if they would have give you actually a AAA video game of Alita?
Oh, that would be awesome.
That would be
You'll be
so
like,
good.
screw Cameron, just keep on giving me video games.
Oh no, I want the movie sequels as
And
well.
you know
I'm
what's
gonna
the
be
cool thing
greedy.
about Vin Diesel? Vin Diesel is just like Keanu Reeves. He's a versatile actor. Vin Diesel actually came out recently on Ark's survival game. Do you know that?
Yeah.
So it is not another possibilities, really. I really would like to see the second part in some kind of other way, even if it's a comic book or something. I definitely gonna follow Robert on the book. We might actually cover it on the future if we all read it, right?
Yeah, we might. Yeah. I'm
But
definitely.
I'll let you go with your final thoughts, Ray. That's all for me for now.
Huh. Vin Diesel's 2 years older than I am. There you go. I was curious. Okay, so what do I think about
Thicker than
Babylon?
Uncle Crick, huh?
Uncle Crick's 8,000 years old, man. He's been around a long time.
Oh yeah, but Uncle Crick is a wall still.
So, what do I think of Babylon A.D? I think that I would really have loved to be in that alternate universe where the studio kept its mitts off it and we got to see the vision that the creatives were trying to give us but weren't allowed to. because the movie holds so much promise. I totally agree with Robert about the futuristic tech, which is treated as normal, because a lot of movies, and Star Trek was guilty of this in the early days, of going, hey, look at all our awesome sci-fi stuff. Like, isn't this amazing? And it's like, you wouldn't be acting like that if you lived on that starship. It would be like Monday.
Yeah.
And that was beautifully done in this movie. The technology was treated as Monday. All right. So Vin Diesel opens the boot, yeah, guns, ammo, grenades, and some maps, starts plotting out how he's going on his digital map, and then goes, oh, cool, wraps it up, puts it away. And it's like, that's how the future should be. The future should be normal.
Yeah.
And I really felt that was well executed. The variations between the high tech and the low tech, because some areas were very low tech, was very telling, and gave it a real dystopian vibe, which added to the ambience of the movie. I do admit that the end was very muddy and confused me the first time I watched it, which is why I didn't take a really close look at it at that stage. But now, having watched it again and having read the Wikipedia articles and things like that, I understand why it ended up muddy at the end, and I do really come down on the camp of Robert of saying, I really wish this had have had its full potential explored, because it does feel very much the missing link between our world and cyberpunk, our cyberpunk world. And I really do feel like if it was told properly with a little bit more foreshadowing, and just a couple more things explained a little bit more, rather than just dumped in your lap and for you to work it out, it would have really hit the heights that it was capable of hitting. So, I mean, I watch B-grade movies and enjoy them. And unfortunately, because of how this was treated, it does sort of fall into that camp. But having said that, it really does have a lot of great little moments of sci-fi and moments of near future, which give us a lot of things to discuss. And I think that's really great, even though it didn't quite reach the heights that the screenwriters were hoping for. It does have a lot of moments in it which really did tell good story and give good glimpses into the future. So I do think it's worth watching for that.
Awesome.
All right. Well, and before the closing, I guess, I don't think that you even had to jump into the science and sci-fi because, again, I don't have notes, but I really enjoy when it came to the cybernetics. I noticed that they are not really full on moved on into like cyberpunk when it comes to like the implants. Because I don't know if you noticed like his hand, but you saw his foot. It looked more like a prosthesis incorporated into his flesh than an actual functional food. That you notice?
Yeah.
I think
Eh,
that's what I envisioned these types of things being like in the future,
yeah.
where they can fully integrate with the human body, maybe even connect to the nervous system, kind of like what happens in the cyberpunk world. Obviously, cyberpunk is different because it's more metallic, but this is what I envision, and what I actually wished they could do because this would help a lot of people.
Yeah,
Um,
it definitely would. It definitely would. I feel though, like even though we were advanced when it comes to like genetical modification of the human body, uh, we didn't really have everything like it looks in Cyberpunk 2077, for example, where you virtually can change the human body from A to C to the T. I don't think that we like in there. They were there.
no,
For example, the technology that he had in his hand, I seen that elsewhere used differently because the one that he had looked like he had some kind of also cybernetic enhancement too. It was not just to help protect from whatever uh, injury he had, But I've seen that used, for example, in Gears of War. One of the main characters, he gets a horrible burn from an explosion, and he spends the half of the sequel with something on his arm that looks exactly like what he has. For example,
It's prosthetics, but that's exactly what I was saying. Prosthetics today, they're I think if I'm not and Ray, I don't know if you know more about these or not, but if I'm correcting the prosthetics today, what they do is they have sensors that sense. I guess it's the movement of the.
nerves,
I'm sorry.
the nerves or the muscles,
The
maybe.
no, it's like, for example, if you have people that have lost this bottom part, you have this little, I want to call it stub coming out,
Yeah, yeah,
and it
yeah.
moves out. So some of those prosthetics, they kind of follow the movement of that or the movement of muscle.
Hmm.
Um, but what I think I saw in this film is a prosthetic that connects or links to the nervous system, which
Ooh.
is which is what I would love to see today, and I think that's gonna help a lot more people that are under those conditions. Uh,
Hmm.
what is your thought on that, Ray?
Well, I mean, it's all uh, evolutionary. So you start out, what we've had until recent times is just like a physical replacement. They can be very simple or more complicated with rotating joints and things like that. But there has to be a method by which they can, in inverted commas, replace what was missing. And material sciences being what they are these days, and advances in these sort of things, you can now have people in the Paralympics who've lost their lower legs and had them replaced, having uh, what we would call sports prosthetics, which will actually improve them beyond the ability of a normal leg. So there's actually running prostheses out there that help you run faster than you would have with normal feet.
Ray, I'm gonna share a link, and
Yeah.
I wonder if you can screen share that. This is something that I haven't posted yet, because I'm still reading about it. Don't be surprised if you see this in future posts.
Which one? The first one or
Oh
the
yeah.
second one?
The
Oh no,
First one,
chaos is
first
the
one,
one.
first one, first one, first one.
So, I don't know if you're familiar with these.
Yeah, I am.
I
This is
think
all news on me.
I think I sent you. Did I send you a link, Geo, at one point? I think I did.
No, no, I've seen these before you sent it to me.
Okay.
These, to me, these were inspired from Westworld.
Yeah.
But
So,
but yeah, I've seen these before. They are very interesting. They use hydraulic for the compression, and it looks way more human and natural on the flow of movement.
well, this is what I think. Where this is what I think would be the future, right? They look kind of creepy, obviously. But I think I want to call these androids, right? They're not yet. They're going to put in AI on it eventually. Right now, if you remember when I talked about these kind of things in the past on our show, remember when I said that in order to replace let's say an arm or a leg, you still need to have AI in those parts. So, like for example, one AI controls a finger, the other AI controls the other finger. And so you have a combination of that, and then some sort of link between the human and the
You're
part.
using a structure kind of like an octopus when you talk of AI being in charge of every limb.
Exactly. And that's how it would work. That's how I envision this to be the solution. But what I call this to be so interesting for me is the fact that this is the closest thing we can come to having an actual hand, an actual legs, because it is actually filled with water.
Hmm.
So it uses basically hydraulic using water, and when using that and the way that it's built, it actually functions. And when you look at it, and I actually invite people to actually go on YouTube and find it's called a clone. You'll see how freaky it looks because it is very like a human. The way they walk, the way they move their hands, the way they move. They show you how they can hold things with their hands and lift it, and it looks like a human hand. So when you were talking about that, Ray, this is the first thing that came to my mind, is because I'm still reading about this company, and they have a lot of videos out that were showing what their robots are capable of. Right now, they don't have that. They're training them to walk. So most videos you'll see them hanging from somewhere, but they said that they're going to show a video once they learn how to walk, and that is going to be impressive considering that I've seen their legs and it looks like a human leg.
Well, this is ahead of what I'm talking about. I'm just talking about physical structures with no electronics or powered movement or anything like that. Just a physical replacement. Running blades, I think, is what they're called for the runners. And they actually have and it's all got to do with the material that they use, the material science involved with creating these blades. And the blades compress and then release that kinetic energy and give you a boost to power that you wouldn't get in a normal leg. Like the release is stronger. The release kinetic energy is stronger than the human muscles could produce, and that's why they're faster than a person with normal feet. So that's sort of a material science attempt at replacing the lower part of the leg in this instance. But of course, if you want something to do more detailed work, this is sort of the direction in which it's heading. And of course, that interface between the human nervous system and machine is the El Dorado's gold of prosthetics.
Yes.
In that we need to be able to think and have the prosthetic do what we're thinking, like a normal arm would. Now, initially, it's going to be on the shaky side. It's not going to be very helpful. And I mean, like, it may be more convenient, like they did in Babylon A.D. Oh, excuse me, to put something over the limb that isn't working properly to make it work properly, like make it move. And that's probably what that cast over his arm was doing. Rather than replacing it, it was like the nerves may have died, so the muscles didn't have that nervous stimulation to do what the user wanted it to do anymore. So this replaced the nervous system controlling the limb to make it move again. So that's the way it looked to me, because it was just sort of implanted over the surface. So that's how I envisioned it worked, because I couldn't see any mechanics or anything that actually did the moving. So I think it was more likely to be a support and motivating system to get the original muscles to actually move, because his nervous system had died because he'd been dead for too long.
Yeah.
And
I want to give the audience a little context just in case they want to go on YouTube and find more information. This is a Polish robotics company. I believe they were founded in 2021. The name is Clone Robotics. So you can just go into YouTube and type in Clone Robotics, and you'll see there's going to be quite a lot of videos out there.
So once they can get that communication system going, that's when things are really going to improve. And the whole idea of microprocessing each digit and each bit is probably easier, in as much as rather than having a centralized system that controls everything and being stupidly complex, you simplify it by breaking it down, and you have microprocessors for each digit, and they only have to work with that one digit, and they get sent messages from the overall controller that only has to like it's the general of the army, and each of these microprocessors are the soldiers, the privates in the army that do the work, and the general just directs the traffic, as it were.
That's what I was thinking, Ray. I think that's what's going to come first, you know, and yeah, exactly like that. You have like kind of like in computers, you have your CPU, which is the boss, right? And then there's going to be probably names that are going to being created for this type of technology because this technology is new. But you would have an AI in each, in the muscle. So basically, the CPU will try to guess what the person is trying to do, and then tell the appropriate muscles and the appropriate locations the appropriate instructions to accomplish that task. And you're right. I think that's where we're going to go first, because I think we're really far from an actual link or interface between an actual artificial limb and the brain.
Mm.
I think
See that there's still another level on top of that. So you've got your material science version, which is just a physical replacement. Then you've got your computerized version, which will actually interpret what's coming from the nervous system and turn it into movement. But then you've got the third level, which is basically skin touch and temperature sensing. So most people ignore that. Well, they don't ignore that bit. They just don't consider it, that your entire body is a sensor.
Mhm.
And
It's an organ.
wherever your skin is touched, it feels pressure. It can feel pain if it's a sharp pressure, and it can feel the temperature variation if it's hot or cold. So all of those sensors, all of those different types of nerve endings are in your skin, spread across your body. Now, they're not always in the same amount in the same places, but they're concentrated where they need to be, like on your tongue, on the tips of your fingers, places like that. But all of your skin has those various sensors as part of your normal construction, as it were. And that would be the third level, which would be sensing with the artificial limb. So you need to be able to feel touch and temperature, and if it's something sharp that causes pain. So the difference between level 2 and level 3 is level 2 can pick up the cup, but level 3 can feel how hard it's gripping the cup and whether or not it's too much, because obviously a mechanical hand will have more strength in it than a normal human hand and could crush the cup. So if you grip it too hard, you crush it. But if you don't grip it hard enough, it'll fall out of the hand. So you need to be able to sense that the grip strength is enough, but not too much. And that's what the sensor level will come into it.
Well, I can add a couple of things to your comments there.
How will you not send everybody to the ER when you give a handshake?
That's right.
Or just trade yourself when you try to get a hand job.
I did some research in this company, and one of the good things about this company is the fact that they are not stronger than humans. These robots, they have the same, and I think when he said this, it kind of makes sense, because one of the things that where humans fear these kind of things is because by nature they're typically stronger than humans, and they have the potential of hurting, because imagine being hit by a piece of metal, right? But these robots are different, because if let's say for example this robot slaps you, it's basically because of the components that it's built on. It's like another human slaps you. It's filled with water, right? So
I still don't want to be slapped by another human, because that will still hurt.
exactly.
But at least it won't take my head straight off.
It will not kill you. So So the other thing that I want to say is, what you were saying about the sensing, I envision this going this way. And again, I'm just based on what I have read. This is where I'm going with this. The sensing will still be done by the AI. The only difference is, because there's no link to the person, and it's just the AI trying to interpret based on what the human is trying to do. For example, if you have a hand like these, right, and you're trying to pick up an egg, right? This has the possibility and capability of sensing that is a delicate thing just by touching and not crushing the egg. But the human receiving this will not know this, because there's no link. Does that make sense? So it's going to be very confusing at first. So they have the same possibility eventually in the future. I'm not saying now, of sensing heat, sensing textures, because of the way that it's designed. Right? It's kind of like a. I invite you guys to look at the video and see how interesting this technology is. It looks creepy, I would have to say, but I think it's.
I don't find it creepy.
Do you find it creepy, Ray, by looking at these? I'm sure this is your first time, right?
No, it is my first time, but no, I'm a biologist. There's way more creepy
Right,
things out
it's
there.
like me. Yeah.
What?
I think that because of anatomy classes, and I am used to seeing the human body on parts. It looks normal to me. It looks very nice and sleek. Actually, I like the design.
I missed what Ray said. You cut
Oh.
out.
Oh no, I just said I'm a biologist. There's way more creepy things out there than this.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, I figure I mentioned this because this is my current obsession.
Mhm.
I have different times where something catches my eye and I start reading about it. So I've been reading lately about this company.
I've been following this design robot before Atlas. I am very intrigued by this one because when you look at this objectively by design and functionality, this one is the one that can and will look the most human of all of them.
You mean the clone robot?
Yeah, clone
Well,
robotics.
it may also feel more human.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the way that it's built is built to move like a human in its anatomical form.
And one of the things that are freaky is that they bleed. If you get a knife, for example, and
Hmm.
you cut it, obviously they'll bleed whatever the equivalent of water, right? And they stop functioning. At least that limb will stop.
Hmm.
So it even at that point, it behaves like a human.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe I'll cut my arm see if it works like
Well, I don't
Yeah.
think we're there yet, but yeah.
Well, Robert, that's all really cool, but I still want my digital map.
that.
Well, we got to tell these companies that are like researching it to hurry up and shut it up.
Yeah.
I think they'll get there.
I want an
Oh,
iPad like that.
cool.
What do
Yeah,
you
just so you know that was all really for the science and sci-fi that I was gonna bring, really, but it was more of like a comment and observation and something that really caught my eye,
Mhm.
so that we wouldn't go blank.
Mhm.
Awesome. Okay.
Fair enough. Too. So that comes to the end of our discussion on the pod about Babylon AD. But of course, it's not the end of the discussion at all, because if you happen to join our Discord, you can tell us what you thought about the movie or whatever else you happen to be watching at the time. And we'd love to know, because we love to get other people's opinions. And we also love to hear about what you're interested in or what you're creating. So do consider joining our Discord. It's pretty damn easy. If you are on Discord already, all you have to do is scan the link on the screen right now if you're watching on YouTube, or check in the show notes for the Discord link. And if you click through that one, if you're already on Discord, bit about butter, you'll be on our Discord. And if you haven't got Discord already, it's very simple. You just have to sign up, create an account. The base level is free, so you don't have to pay anything for it, and you just get the app on your PC or on your devices, your phone or your tablet or whatever, and away you go. So Discord's pretty easy, and of course there's lots and lots of different Discord channels. There's ones for just about any interest you might have, be it woodworking, anime. There's plenty of Alita Battle Angel ones out there, hint, hint. And of course, when you have an interest that you can't find a Discord for, you can create your own. It is free to create your own Discord, so Discord channels or server, should I say? So you could create one yourself. Now, our Discord has many channels on it for differing things, and of course, we've got ones for different IPs, ones for different types of sci-fi, and all sorts of sci-fi adjacent and other interests that we have. So do check those out. You can, when you sign up, you can select what you want to be able to see on the regular, and you can join us for all the discussions there. And I just wanted to say that Discord's one of those things that you get out what you put in. If you just hover around in there and don't say anything, you won't be getting much out of it. But if you start discussions, if you ask questions, if you say, hey, I watched Alien Earth and it was really cool, it was really retro and it felt like 1979 all over again, I'll be like jumping on that conversation going, exactly, that's exactly how I felt even in the first 2 minutes. So yeah, I mean, there's so many opportunities to discuss so many cool things about sci-fi, and on our Discord is where you can find lots of conversations about that and all related stuff that we enjoy as well. So do join us there. We would love to have you and hear your opinions on the stuff that we're enjoying and that you're enjoying right now. We have a couple of websites. The first one is sciencefictionremnant.com. That is our portal for all things to do with the podcast. On there, you'll see our most recently released episode. Plus, also you can go through into, I think it's Apple Podcasts, and go through our back catalogue there all the way back to episode 1, which was all of 8 minutes long and was all about a book that Robert was enjoying. What was it again?
Artemis Fowl.
Yes, Artemis Fowl. I've actually read maybe 5 or 6 books in the Artemis Fowl series. I really enjoyed them. Yeah. So highly recommend that one. I'm not sure about the movie. You haven't watched that yet, but certainly the books are very good.
Geo has.
Dun, dun, dun.
Would you be afraid to ask them?
Maybe we should save it for another episode.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, sciencefictionremnant.com also has our short reads. Those are articles written about science and science fiction that don't take too long to read and might give you something to think about, a thought experiment, or some ideas about the future that you may not have considered yet. You can check those out, and we'd love to hear what you think about those too. And guess where you can tell us about those? On our Discord. So if you happen to read any of them and have a comment, do let us know on our Discord. We would love to hear from you. We have another website. This one's for the creators. This is sci-fi.net. This particular website's in its early stages. So if you got on board now, you could help shape the way it comes out in the future. But the idea of this is sci-fi.net is to get your ideas out there. If you're a creator and you want people to know about it, you can contact us and get your stuff up there on that website. And you can also use the This Is Sci-Fi hashtag, hashtag This Is Sci-Fi, all one word, and get your ideas out there into the community around the This Is Sci-Fi hashtag. We have another number of other socials. You can find us on Threads, X, and Blue Sky, and Facebook. We're all over the place. We're also on Threads is part of
Instagram.
Instagram, yeah. Mm-hmm. So you can find us on Instagram as well, in the general part of Instagram, but also on Threads. Threads is kind of like the nice X, where it's a little bit less toxic, but the engagement there has been really good since we started up on Threads. We get a lot of good conversation going on there about topics to do with sci-fi. So if you're at all interested, do check us out on Threads. But of course, you can find us on X, you can find us on Blue Sky, you can find us on Facebook. We're all over the place. And we also have a Substack. Now, if you haven't heard of Substack before, it's an interesting new way to get content. So basically how it works is it's kind of like a blogging site, sort of mini blog comment post idea, where you can subscribe to different Substacks. And whenever the creator of the Substack drops a post, you will get you can get a notification about it. You can go into the website and read them, or you can have them delivered handy dandy to your email in daily or weekly doses. So you can check all those out, and you don't even have to go to the website. You can just get them through your email. So do consider that. We'd love you to sign up to our Substack. And of course, there's lots of other sci-fi creators there on Substack, which are really cool. I'm subscribed to a bunch of them, and I find out all sorts of cool, new, interesting ideas and trends and things like that from those guys. So thank you, all the sci-fi creators on Substack. You are keeping me going with my sci-fi influx, which is always appreciated.
And there's a new one.
There's a new one. We've got a new post up.
Yeah, it's called The Computer of Tomorrow is Already Here.
Mm.
And if you're a Star Trek fan, in general, if you're a sci-fi fan in general, you know what I'm talking about. So that computer is already here. So if you want to know what that is all about, it is on Substack.
Dun, dun, dun. But you can also find it on our website, because it'll be there as well. And on our Discord. So you see, you got lots of options. We also have a buy me a coffee, not a coffee. Of course, creating a podcast is not free, and Robert and I are sort of hosting those costs at the moment. But it would be really awesome if you do appreciate our content, if you could help us out a little bit. It can be as little as $1 a month, or you could do a one-off donation. Whatever you can spare, if you appreciate our content, we really appreciate the help. It just makes it a little bit easier to bring you awesome podcasts on a regular basis, and makes us feel appreciated. So it's a bit of an moment. We have a hotline. You can leave us a message on that. The number is 1305-563-6334. That's 1305-563-6334. You can leave a message day or night, anytime you like. And of course, if you give us permission, we will play that message on a future podcast and talk around it as a talking point. So if you've got something you're really interested in, but you're feeling a bit too anxious to come on as a guest and be the local expert on that one, you can leave us a message about what you really like. We'll go off and have a look at it, and we'll talk around that during the This is Sci-Fi segment. So that's a way to be involved without, showing your mug on the show and getting all anxious about that. So there's an option there for the introverts. And believe it or not, I am actually an introvert. You can't always tell. I've trained myself out of it mostly, but I have my days where I just don't want to talk to you. So I know I'm still an introvert at heart.
You're just too old to care.
Or that.
Just like me. Just like me. I don't care anymore. I was an introvert. I just don't care anymore.
It gets that way eventually. True enough. Of course, if you like this episode, it'd be great if you shared it with your sci-fi loving friends. And of course, you can also let them know about our Discord, and they can join us there as well. Because we'd love to talk to them if they love sci-fi as well. We love to get all sorts of opinions and takes on various IPs. If you love them, if you hated them, what you thought they did well, what you thought they could have done better. It's all great fodder for the conversation that we're having, our lifetime conversations of sci-fi, and we'd love you to be a part of it. So do consider joining us on our Discord. Do check out our back catalogue. We've got lots of super spoiled IPs there that, of course, we recommend you watch before you listen. But, of course, you must know by now that we spoil, because we can't have a deep conversation without spoiling. So it's going to happen. So if you're at all concerned about spoilers, watch before listening and everything will be cool. But we do appreciate you listening. Thanks for joining us again for this episode of Science Fiction Remnant. And we hope you'll join us in the next one, because Bree will be joining us and we'll be having an awesome discussion about another great sci-fi IP. So join us then on Science Fiction Remnant. Bye for now.
Bye.